underway. We just had a player restart right before the throw. So sorry for the false start here, everybody, but we are getting things underway.
Yeah, absolutely. They just got to get more coffee and, wake up to give us a bit of time to process all of that. So, yeah, we're into another situation of a 2-0 match. Winner of this will be a legend at the Rio Major. Their road to Rio is shorter as well as everyone else because they'll have done it in the quickest route possible. We know that that's certainly something all teams desiring. FaZe, I think most of the players are going to leave today with the exception of a few leaving tomorrow, and they're going straight home to have a day off and then practice and boot camp and get ready for the major. They've got more time for prep now, and that's exactly what they would have wanted, right? So you don't want to do this the long way. You don't want the stress.
Yeah, precisely. All right, well, we are getting things underway here. Home turf for Big. 4 players parked up back at Cat as Krimbo works with the lower tunnels, and the one expert, it's dead level. So understandably so that we can't really draw too many margins between these teams.
This is nice to see from Big. I don't think this is necessarily even a counter directly to ENCE, but we're seeing more and more with the change of the doors, obviously, and the lack of vision from spawn. More and more CT side pistol pushes through mid, so they're just waiting that out to see if it's going to happen.
Lurk Smoke didn't force a lot here. Maden did transition towards pit. Krimbo selling this on his lonesome. Lucky he knows a nade set or two. It's a decoy towards the doors, and this is going to get to draw a rotation across now. Snappi has floated into CT. They're making their way out Cat, and there's the long push from Maden. Damage done to syrsoN. And they're in. Oh, Pius has been gooshed down here as well. tabseN will pick him up, and the bomb should be going down momentarily. 4 on... Make it 3 on 5 retake situation now.
tabseN hit that while running across behind Kiddo. It looked like he was going to make first contact. Snappi, good headshot to syrsoN. That would have been a kill either way, but he was the low HP player, so it's not that much of a loss for Big. They can certainly compensate that with some firepower. Snappi's going to follow it to get tabseN as well, though. syrsoN, trade, Dia and valde, 2-on-1 in favor of ENCE, but they have no kits and they've got to get to the site quickly. A bit of armor to work with, but not on the head. No helmets, and that allows syrsoN to hit the first shot. He was a talking point on the desk. Might be a talking point to start out this game. Runs out of ammo. They both have to jump off it, but he might be able to back up. He's going to hold this. Jump first Glock. That's why it's useful. Gotta love to see that. He gets the headshot to boot.
Another clutch from syrsoN on the T side of Dust2. I was covering the Vitality game just the other day with Anders, and he had a massive clutch situation. So we do have a tech issue called here. We can reflect and recall the path of both of these teams to this point.
Tech called from Big, by the way, who won the round, so don't worry, it didn't affect anything in that regard. But yeah, that's pretty sick. Jumping Glock, holds it off in the 1-on-2. And the other one for me, just that ENCE, I don't think he's getting enough mention. Obviously, they're talking about Spinks leaving, they're talking about some Pius coming in, you get rid of Hades and inconsistency, again, the speaking point there. But valde, for me, is a player who can be, I don't know if he has that crazy high ceiling where he's going to be a superstar, but he's one of those guys I think that can be very serviceable on a team. He can be very, very usable, very sort of like the cornerstone, if you will, where you need someone like that that you can rely on.
Yeah, and I think this is where the conversation opens is, are we ever going to get as much from valde as we did from Spinks? Probably not. Then that means valde, he needs to play at a very serviceable level, but everybody else needs to lift their game around him. And this is the thing with ENCE. We're still learning about this new roster. They're still learning about themselves. Can report that it is a mic issue, guys. So let me give you the fun facts here. Make sure if you're ever going to a LAN, the first thing you do, the very first thing,
when you sit down,
plugged in all your gear and you open it, get your team to all sit down and set your team speak. Set it up first and make sure communication is clear. Then you can go to your aimbots. Then you can do all your config. Then you can do all the nonsense. But communication, get that one sorted first and foremost.
And make sure it's like when, in racing, you go corner to corner, you corner 1 radio check, and then you wait for the pits to say copy, corner 2 radio check. You're basically testing if there's any flat spots in the radio, so that if, let's say you're in turn 4, you go to pits, you say something, you think they hear you, they don't, you know not to talk there for the rest of the weekend. Make sure when you go in and do that comms, make sure everyone says, yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Because if you think you're being heard and you're not, that's also a problem.
And it can cost you in a big way, right? Luckily, it didn't cost Big here.
I think Gobby may have been the one to notice. That's why I bring that up, because he was the one that was like talking to the admin, like, no, I hear him now, right? So maybe the teammates weren't responding and he thought he was heard, and then Gobby clued in like, wait, I didn't hear him talk at all.
We are getting the double scout force here from ENCE, and this has been in vogue on the CT side, but one of the keys to that is the T's taking long control and then getting scouted at range. That isn't the case here. Big have grouped towards B. This is equally as deadly. ENCE have 3 players on the site, 1 lingering just outside the doors of Diha, and they're going to do a full set piece here.
Flashes and smokes. Some bias already spotting and taking the first shot, the headshot into Keto. Valde's above this as they look toward him, but he can't see in the smoke. Some bias is going to get another. They're getting stalled out massively, and Valde's going to go to work. The second round buy, as always, is menacing, and the scout is looking more and more viable. It fell out of favor after the jump shotting nerf, which I think was necessary, but man, it has become so viable with SMGs around it again.
This map specifically, right? And we just spoke about it, the fact that so many teams on their anti-eco or second round buy are going out long and then they're trying to execute and then they get pipped by the scouts. Well, this time around, Big tried to fall into something different. So they're doomed if they do, doomed if they don't, right? This is a miserable feeling. Hey boys, let's execute onto B. We'll try and avoid the scout. Well, some bias is here, and you have to greet his scout head on. Look at this, 3 Galils picked up, an M4 for Maden, and the scout for Sampayas continue to big on their force on the other side. syrsoN will exchange blows. Sampayas tagged down early. That just is such a gut punch right there for Big. It's like, hey, come on, man. We thought we were avoiding what has been such a nuisance in the current meta. None of the options for an anti-eco on the T side are great. If you can't scale that long quickly and get any kills and they're playing from A, you're screwed. If you try and go B and you go into a stack like that, you're screwed. If you do a default round and you take mid control and you try and get short and you get tagged by a scout, you're screwed. There needs to be an answer. Maybe lose pistol. Maybe that's the answer.
I mean, with the MP9 right now as well, like, it's not even just Eagles and 5.7s. Like, you get one MP9 and a scout in a combo, and that's like, whew. That's pretty scary.
Oh, I hate this round for Big, unfortunately. The German side, just with one smoke remaining. They do have a little bit of map control, but this is the thing. If there's no picks given up across the map, if ENCE don't overstep the mark, what are they meant to do?
Do you think it's time to go back to, like, we've changed the economy. Hang on. There's going to be a deagle shot here that's got to hit surely as tabseN falls off. Can't do it, but Valde holding it middle. syrsoN, there's the deagle shot. It's going to nail it, and they're going to follow it up with a scout again. As Kito comes inside of the B site, he could surprise Dia here, but he's still holding and not giving. Oh, he's looked away, but he's not giving his angle up.
You can hear this.
Be patient about it. You certainly can hear it. Now he's spotted. Now they wrap in, and it's Kito, so the Deagles are going to win this one out. Is it time to, with... All right, look, I've got to hold my...
They might go for this.
I was going to say, I got to go back to this because they are low on HP, so hang on, because they... Okay, they're not. We start now. We switch the ecosystem so you don't have hard resets anymore, right?
Sure.
You lose one round at a time, therefore it's not like a catastrophe and it just blows wide open. But you start with 1900 as your loss bonus rather than 1400. Is it time to remove that? Is it time to go back to just getting 1400 after the first round, a single round bonus? Because then it might limit some of these second round buys to an extent.
Yeah, I remember I was thinking about this quite a lot a couple of years ago when that change first happened. It's something that's fallen out of my mind in a big way. It's to help. We obviously know the rationale, right? And they want it to be more competitive in the second round as well.
But it's almost like competitive is one thing if you play really well. I'm not saying they didn't in this case, but we're just seeing so many second round buys that are winning.
The flow-on effect of that is the first gun rounds. Maybe it won't be such an issue with the cheaper M4 now. That's the thing. I'm going to have to really get the abacus out and do the digits.
It's a tough one, right? Like, it's almost like you have to trial and error it.
Yeah, but the thing is, we want to avoid a lot of full eco rounds, but I feel like we do for the most part. It's very rare that you see a full eco round, and especially a full eco round win.
Right, and this only affects the start of the game, right? Like, because remember, after that, you're at 1400 anyway when you're at 0. So it's just that second round buff that it would remove a bit. Valde with 2 kills on the back of a Sampayas flash. He'll take down Krimbo and syrsoN. So good start for him on the M4. He's up to 6 and 2. Exactly what you'd want from the man that's going to try and step in and fill big shoes.
It's crazy that Sampayas has an AWP here. That's been dropped across from Valde. So they've been able to make this force work again. Saving those weapons was a positive here. And we are in the force by wars, even though this looks just like a rifle round. And what a push from Valde. Gets the kills and now has taken the space. So understanding the situation very well. Maden needs to get over and help out D-Hard towards B. Quick, smart.
Maden does have the utility. Drop it now because his teammates called for it. Tried to spray in, did Dia. He got one, but he was playing the barrel angle. It was a very good nade. Maden's gone. You called a nade correctly. I never would have. It would have missed if I said it. syrsoN didn't miss. He's got Maden when he arrives. Valde's already fast on the flank in this round, looking for a third kill. Planted by syrsoN, though. Oh, he's going to go onto the box, fake it out. Doesn't matter. He didn't know Valde was there. I thought he actually had some sort of indication and was going to try and plant safely.
That's a good plant to stop right there. Some extra cash would mean that Bigger have a juicier looking buy here. Probably a few more AKs. I don't even know if they're going to be able to get out any AKs here unless they're dropping for their teammates. So this is the double up here. You can see Valde as he runs. He's looking towards the opposite direction, playing anti-flash, as it were. And a great round from him. Huge impact that might humble Big. And it will. Big are just going to operate with 5 Glockaroonies here. So expect this one to either be really quick or really slow. There's no in-between in rounds like this.
Hey, that one's massive. Bounces up and takes damage onto 3. syrsoN will take out tabseN. Another nade a little bit late that time, though. They've already bypassed that position, but maden still ready to roll. Looking solid. He and Snappi with the kills. Still lots of skill on this ENCE lineup. I know you lose Spinks, but you've got maden's another player I think that can be underrated at times and is also very stable in that regard.
Yeah, I agree. I think over in FPX, he was used much more aggressively than his earlier debuts within the ENCE roster. But they have that up their sleeve to be able to pull out.
Maybe that's the key. Now that you have valde, who's not going to be super hyper-aggressive all of the time, you let him off the leash a little more, right?
Yeah, it is going to be an interesting mix, right? And shot from syrsoN. They've looked very good, ENCE, in their first 2 games, right? You look at the opponents. But in terms of their performance from Pro League, it has been much better.
Yeah, they may not have the peak that they would have had in terms of individual skill before, but I think they have a composition still. And they can certainly make something out of it.
And the question is, right, G2 and Vitality pretty hot out the gates during EPL, and I'm not saying that either of those teams are not going to make it, but it's looking rough for G2 and Vitality stomached a loss to Big, whereas ENCE are in the 2-0 bucket right now, and they could lock themselves in for that legend stage with a victory here over a team with a substitute from the Academy roster. So very possible, as Snappi does spot some info, needs to be careful around the corner, the nade drop to the feet, but k1to will confirm.
Luckily stands on top of that nade, so gets some damage as consolation for the fact that he was caught with his pants down, as Diaz going to wrap back into middle and look through the doors. Didn't quite spot Krimbo. Molly out at the Xbox. And they're going to push toward long. maden is not in the cave. Don't be misled by the X-ray. He's out by pit, so he's one wall further. There we go. So syrsoN will try and use the fishing rod and pull them towards. And then the bait will hopefully play out in his favor, but he's got to get there soon. They're already around the corner. Flash is going to catch out his teammate as well as anyone else. That fell apart. syrsoN didn't stay committed. He does make up for it by getting 2, but they still lose long, and that means they've lost the A-bomb site entirely. And Diaz forced forward. Good find. Needs to be ready for the second. Couldn't do it, but he pushed k1to down to 2. He nearly did. And this gives valde a chance, but he's going to be held off by Molotov. That'll allow him to just sit and wait it out a little moment longer, though, because he's not in a rush as of yet. He has a kit to work with. Doesn't have any nades, though. First shot's easy. k1to gone. That was 2 HP, so it didn't matter. Krimbo's yet to get a kill in this, though, and he's going to need one now if he wants to clutch it, and he's going to be held on the shutout even longer by valde.
Huge, huge. That's exactly what you want. This is the star performance level that we're looking for here. A 1-on-2 in a bomb site where saving tends to be name of the game, especially on a map like Dust2. And valde gives it a crack, and he pulls it off, so that's a massive round to win. This is how it started. k1to taking down Snappi. And the timing on long, if you want to credit Big here, I think you have to. They were pressuring short. syrsoN had to float back. He didn't have any choice. maden says, hey, they're coming out the doors. The flash actually working against maden there. But syrsoN makes good on the promise. Locks down with a couple, and then valde mops up the mess. That's the 2 newer boys in the team. Bringing the 4th home for ENCE now. And GoldB immediately into a timeout. Didn't like what he saw just there. Should have been their round to win. Can get a half buy going. Loss bonus has built to a pretty sizable level. 2,900 coming into the bank the next round. So should be expecting a force buy here, and they've prioritized utility first. And then as the buys come, they'll decide, hey, can I get a P250? Can I go to a Tech 9? Maybe I can upgrade into a Deagle. And you'll see the smattering of pistols purchased here. But I imagine they'll take this one a little bit slower. syrsoN, where are we throwing that one? That's the one that lands on the pallet next to the Xbox.
Well spotted. Did Rushley teach you that one?
No, I watch all of Nart out his videos and try to watch a demo a day. So
not bad. A demo a day.
That keeps the doctor away.
It's going to be 5 on Catwalk. Which, in case you need to Counter-Strike, that's the whole team. And they're all going. maden throwing out the incendiary. I don't know why I always call it maden. It just happens. But maden's going to move down toward Goose. syrsoN still waiting, but he's flashed off. Fires at opening shots. Thwarts and tries to suppress as Maden's forced over to the pistol. Still makes it work. He ran out of ammo, didn't want to have time for a reload. And they're just going to try and get a bomb plant on this. The 5 pistols for a little bit of money, and they're going to achieve at least that as they'll get cleaned up, and the defuse will come through once the flames are burnt out.
Yeah, good plan. You know, they got something out of that half investment there, so pick up the 5th now. Kind of steady stuff. This is looking good for ENCE in the early stages of Dust2. Remember, this is Big's choice. I think the desk were predicting that if Big do not pick up Dust2, that it should be looking to be a 2-0 in the favor of ENCE.
Yeah, nuke next, Mirage third if needed.
And good to see teams going back to the home territory, right? Not flirting with anything too dangerous in the map pool. I think it's going to be difficult for Big to be as comprehensive on a map like Nuke with the substitute of Sin. Sure, he might understand they talk him through the theory, but there's one thing of doing it live and there's another thing of doing it in practice. Now, you mentioned Maden. The only Maden I know, Crystal Maiden from Dota, is I've seen Sir Action Slack's cosplay.
I think she was the first. Well, Axe was the first one I ever played in like a bot game, but I think Crystal Maiden was the first hero I played a bunch.
You were playing the support. You're liking the stun.
Well, that's what everyone told me when I was new. They were like, just be a support, and then I realized I hated that and became a mid and a jungler.
Okay.
Sometimes hard carry, but you know, that was 2013. And I wasn't very good anyway.
Yeah, Dota's a good bit of fun, though. Just
it is good. I'd like to get back to it. Yeah, I'd like to go back to it at some point. I used to really, really like it. The reason I stopped playing, the biggest reason, is I had a Naga mouse, which had all the buttons on my thumb. Which, yeah, but I got so used to that I couldn't get used to rebinding everything.
You'd try another Naga.
I guess I could just for Dota, but...
There you go. A MOBA mouse.
Am I that committed to a MOBA again?
I don't know. Maybe there could be your new calling.
Maybe.
I like this from
Counter-Strike doesn't work out.
Yeah, you never know. I like this angle from Senpai's here. It frees up valde a lot to harass middle, meaning the mid to B's for Big. Not as possible, not as plausible. But Mr. Pius, all he has to do is catch a slither of Krimbo here, and it won't be Christmas for him. The presence could have been more like Cole as has to drop back. Now defensive utility immediately deployed, and well done. That's going to send them hightailing over towards this A site. But Senpai's AWP is on the opposite side of the map. Still going to find out Keto coming mid to B, but it's on Diha and Maden to lock this down. Tucked in, spam away, multi-kill. Another round here looking perfect. That is just a shutout. All 5 staying alive. This is a great looking ENCE today.
Yeah, very, very solid. Great start. valde's loving it. He's having a heck of a game. Heck of a start for him. I said maybe he wouldn't have that sort of high skill impact. He's more of the cornerstone, but right now he's the spearhead, I think, of this operation. On 9 kills, tied with Maden. Some Pius on 7 as well in the AWP, which is pretty solid.
The half investment here for Big. It's really hard once, you know, the sentiment that Matthew has, I'm bang on with it. Like, it's not the quality of Counter-Strike you're playing, just as long as you get there. And you know, the fact that we have Big here, upsetting Vitality in the best of 1, I think that shows you the virtue of the firepower in these teams, especially tabseN and syrsoN. If they have a really good game, that they can pick up a massive victory like that, and then how it sets up the rest of the bracket in the Swiss. So here we go, another A-pop.
Maden to hold Senpai. Yes, we saw it. He sensed it. He knew what the situation was. Calls Maden to rotate down. That's key, because if they push up the ramp, that divides the entire defense. The problem is it wasn't efficient enough either way, so they still get a single pick on it. That'll allow potentially another plant as Dia up from CT. Only good for 1, and they swarm over top of him. Bomb got planted on this, so another pistol round that will increase the value of their economy, but it's still going to be valde that comes back through and now finds well into double digits. 11 kills for him.
I like the playstyle events here as well, right? They're not sitting back. They're not waiting for everybody to get in position. It's quite quick. They're trying to take the fact that you haven't set up into your post plant yet, that you haven't been able to get entrenched in towards that side. I understand it's only the pistols here, but not giving them too much chance to breathe. And this is a 5-round lead. So we'll back out for syrsoN. The desk touched on this. It's syrsoN and tabseN who need to step up. syrsoN clutched out the pistol. tabseN has 6 kills as well, right? They need to turn those into, unfortunately, like 15 apiece, and immediately. That's just the nature of this.
Right now. You could have kept going. I was just adding fluff. Krimbo. Inside the dumpster is going to get... Okay, all right. I saw a nade pulled out at first, and they went with the incendiary. It puts him down to 6. The nade would have finished the job. But I think he's not long for this world in this situation.
Runs could nade him.
I think he gets caught. Yeah, right now. I was going to say, there's not enough of a smoke to get all the way to the door.
Now they have to go mid to B or short, so... Another round where the opener goes in the favor of ENCE. Yeah, it's going to be a mid to B here, but I think they're boosting over window. They are.
Love to see this.
This is so unexpected.
So no, oh, they fell off of it. They fell off it, but they got the call at least for the information. So Snappi knew to look that direction, and it will be Dia that now strikes to come back out from spawn. No, all the way from long A, rather. Excuse me. They're going to completely cut off syrsoN, but they're giving him a chance here. Caught maden in the window. It's still going to be 8-2 in favor of ENCE.
This fight's 360 degrees for syrsoN there. So the fact he grabs a couple, not too shabby, but this might be a quick one here today. Just flying away with things. Big might need to take another timeout, have a conversation, get Gobby back on the mic. Because these rounds, even though they've, taken the map space, they've congregated, they've executed nicely, after that, it's the issue. And this is where the firefights come in, the firepower in the server, not lighting up the scoreboard just yet. And they will take that aforementioned timeout. So, I need to get into worrying territory here. Gob doesn't look too concerned, even having a little drink on Krimbo there, but running them through what the next strat and next approach could be for round 11. They have money, that's not a problem. 4K plus on most of the players here to get out the buy. Will the spawn affect it? Well, it is only tabseN with a good long spawn. Yeah, I'm going to go for a half investment here, so it's not going to go all in, surprisingly, even though literally everybody could have bought an AK with head armor. So this is how much, this here shows you the crux of big. This is how much they prioritize syrsoN's AWP. And if they're going to prioritize syrsoN's AWP for all their strats to work, he has to get kills, or at least he has to get territory. So that's so wild to me. Like most other teams don't play like this in the meta. They would have just bought. Like a simple would have been, yeah, give me an AK. I'll shoot people still. Zawu, give me an AK. I'll shoot people still.
Yeah, exactly.
But in this one, they literally all could have had AK head armor. They picked up an M4.
Yeah, and I get why they go M4. We saw Liquid doing this a lot in...
Elige loves it.
Yeah, I was going to say exactly. Elige is the main one. T-side, because he knows if they don't have the head armor, then you can catch them out. But in this case, yeah, there's enough money. ENCE isn't worried about it. They'll invest into that.
They do have enough utility to do a B pop here, but that's the thing. They have enough utility, but they don't have enough body. When you do a B pop like this, most players are throwing out some nades, but there's also a couple of players part of that entry pack who have the facilitated waterfall of flashes. So maybe syrsoN will have to continue to lob as Krimbo and tabseN try and break in here.
Dia blinded by his teammate. Now the smokes will go in. The flashes over the top as well. Dia sees it coming. Not the second one. He won't see anything at all for a moment, but vision restored. Still has big box. Doesn't have the aim. Krimbo finds his second in this game. It's some bias that wants to respond, but he's running out of space.
Flank.
Valde's there already. Again, he's been so quick on this. 2-2. 2-on-2, rather, excuse me. 12-2 for Valde. He's looking for another, but Snappi, with that distraction, able to strike, and syrsoN's missed a shot that I think will be the end of him. And as Valde comes in, Snappi even goes back outside the door just to pull his aim as far away as possible. It'll be a defuse and a 9th round.
Just very suffocating again. I think that has to be the key here for the way the ENCE are approaching a lot of these situations. You think you've been able to break into the site, well, guess what? Valde's already in tunnels. You have no room, no wiggle room whatsoever. So this is really, really good Counter-Strike from ENCE. At the gates here today. Krimbo comes in, able to crack it open, and yeah, they did. syrsoN through the U-tilt, facilitated the entries in towards the site. Round got a little bit dicier than I think ENCE would have been hoping for, especially with the purchase on the other side. But, as mentioned, they took the lighter investment by choice to now bring out this AWP with the AKs around it. So taking the pick towards long, syrsoN mollied out of position, a flash as well. That'll send him out between the legs to go looking elsewhere. maden's close doors. Pius has already rotated back, so staying extremely active here.
Shots. Oh. Nailed it. Some bias. It's just standard play. If you're going to get forced off an angle and they think they're there, you might as well take the shot. He does. Absolutely nails Kiddo.
That one really stings. It is wild as well how much U2 ENCE are using early as part of their protocols, right? You can see here we still have a minute 10 on the clock. There's only 2 players with any nades really left, and another one's just been limped forward towards short. Continuing to push big by blocking them in these choke points. It's fine, I guess, if they think, all right, we can sit back and hold on to this U2. But at the end of the day, ENCE then start making aggressive plays. They find the gap. They'll be behind you. They swarm as a unit.
tabseN backing off. The flash to go over. Oh, he's going to throw it just through the doors, actually.
The crisscross is a little bit scary. A lack of info for ENCE, sure. So it's going to be a 3-on-3 on A with Snappi removed.
I do love this crisscross smoke because it lets you slow things down and actually take your fights rather than just panic run toward B and hope that no one in CT is able to do damage to you. Meanwhile, valde, speaking of CT, and Goose this time is the opening kill on Krimbo. tabseN, immediate response though. That's going to force syrsoN way back away from the site itself. So Big has been actually getting good access from Catwalk. And partly due to ENCE's passive setup, but there's 9 seconds. They need to get that bomb down now. And syrsoN, inside spawn, has cut off Dia. So Snappi gets ever closer. But another bomb plant. That's the thing with this scoreline. There's been 4 retakes that have already been successful with defuses from ENCE, and they're going to try and get another one here as maden, no syrsoN, still down in CT spawn, removes him. Now they have a rite of passage. tabseN stuck on the platform, but nails the first shot, follows up with good spray control in the second, and syrsoN walks out, misses the shot, but they know maden is stuck on the ramp. He's going to get around the corner. Careful, lad. He's not reloaded, though, and tabseN with an AK. Oh, my God. I was about to say should win this out. Tapping bomb, he knows syrsoN needs to peek. He needs to peek now. He opens the angle, and I think he has the time. I think he's actually done this. Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be so close. He does. That's incredible. He takes 2 steps to the right, just enough to catch them off, and that's a round that Big will be kicking themselves over.
That's insane as well, because syrsoN in that situation can count down the timer. You got the 4, the 3, the 2, and then the 1 before you have to peek on that defuse. So a great round from maden, and what a retake. See, the thing is, after Dihad jumps into spawn and he dinks syrsoN, I have no idea how Dihad dinks syrsoN by any way, but maden's like, okay, he's isolated, he's in this position, I'm going to find this fight. And you can see the look of dismay on the other side and relief on the other as they get themselves up to 10. ENCE running away with this one. This is a huge match in the context if you're just joining us here today. The winner of this qualifies for the Legend stage on the road to Rio, the major less than a month away. ENCE was semi-finalists back there in Antwerp, so would love to get themselves into that Legend stage, remove themselves from the whole Challenger discussion. Don't need to be a contender team either. A couple of bogey names down there that can push. And you're seeing at the moment over there in the Americas that teams are stepping up.
Snappi just waiting behind the car. Gonna do some damage, but he's able to pop out, remove syrsoN. He's gonna follow that up and get Kiddo as well. This is just too easy. valde's already on the flank again? How does this guy get everywhere on the map? They look back this time, though. syrsoN's gonna catch him out.
Okay, 2 for syrsoN in this one. syrsoN will now push up and make sure they cannot evacuate the long doors whatsoever. maden and Dihad will take more of a passive stance on the side. There's no need to joust with tabseN's AWP down towards the pit. And this will be a game of time because there's 2 smokes for the cross. There's also smoke and an incendiary for Dihad to slow this crawl down. Smoke's deployed. Vision denied for now. One-way smoke from maden in exchange and an incendiary to slow things as... Now guess who's on the site? syrsoN. He's got even extra util. syrsoN on the boost, looking for his 3rd kill.
maden already wrapping back with that smoke as well. To see if he can get an angle. Once again, the A site under threat. No bomb plant this time, though. 13 seconds. They've got to go quick about this. Krimbo. He's able to hit Dia. syrsoN is still waiting. Does he go? He goes. He goes into a one-on-one. 10 HP for Krimbo. So pistol for syrsoN, but a headshot angle. Still needs to hit it. Always missed the jump. That's going to knock him down to the spawn. He goes for the jump shot because why not? It's a pistol. He can. He knows he's low. He knows he's been tagged. Tries again and again, but not the 3rd. He swings out. Krimbo's going to finally win that round for Big. 10-3.
Again, the comms are pretty good over there on the ENCE side. They're aware that Krimbo was extremely low in that situation, but syrsoN is trying to be a little bit too tricky with it. Probably better off just to take a heads-up duel. I don't even think he wanted to fall off the ledge there. He was trying to scale and run down onto the site. So a good round here from Krimbo. A necessary round for Big. They will get themselves up to 3. He can buy again just. And if they win this one, they do break ENCE and can grab themselves a 10-5 score on the half. So not too shabby as ENCE are bringing 4 players to deal with long.
Nade out. valde. Didn't spot Krimbo. That's a problem, because Snappi thinks it's safe and he walks out. syrsoN gets the shot in return, and I'm pretty sure he would have heard Snappi, or excuse me, valde down below. He did. syrsoN makes no mistake, steps wide, hits the shot, but they didn't know that syrsoN was also transitioning. As he falls back to the site, he gets a 2nd on top of it, so it's a 2-on-2, because that gets pulled, but Kitto and syrsoN to try and win out this round. Bomb, obviously, with them at long. Dia in the open. Lineup, hit both.
I won't expect this.
Hit both, and that means maden can do the same peak, same lineup. He's got maden Down to 19, this kiddo, but he's also low himself, and with a smoke out, maden just sprays into it with a USP, 11-3.
Yeah, really good understanding of the situation from Dihar and maden there. Dihar puts his life on the line. They're not expecting maden in that close position. You can see they immediately look behind them. We're getting flanked again. Do we have to worry about Shaw? Where could they possibly be? So a massive clutch for ENCE, all things considered, and syrsoN makes up for the previous round with a couple of nice AWP kills there under pressure. But this is maden. Look at this. No one's ready. No one's ready at all. This is the last thing they were expecting. maden baiting his teammate, but for the good of the team. And 11 confirmed. So let's see, is it going to be Zonics Law or is 12-3 a possibility now for ENCE? WP retained, rifles for everybody else. Snappi deciding how much util he wants to get. I think that Kevlar is looking ever tempting. And really unfortunate scenes for Big. They win the pistol, a clutch from syrsoN, then they lose the force, then they force back their own, then they lose the force again, and they concede the force by wars. So no consecutive rounds so far on their T campaign, on their map choice. And this map feels like it's been quite quick.
It has. It really has. I mean, it's weird because the rounds themselves have been getting sort of long in the tooth in terms of the timer. We've seen a few big attempts to get to the A site with, 15 seconds left or less. But it doesn't feel drug out like some of the, CIS where they just sit and wait and wait and wait. They are still sort of battling for position throughout. But it has been a quick map in that regard. Dia out of ammo. Only good for 2 somehow.
That's so crazy. How does he get 2? I know they're coming out of the gray screen, but his screen was white. So I don't know what you'd prefer.
That's, 5-7 to do it as well. Had the secondary pistol that was capable through that armor. Flash in. Oh, that one's not as good. So maybe karma goes both ways on that one, Chad. It's got to equalize somehow. 3-on-3, syrsoN waiting. Smoke at the corner. They still want to cross over toward the pit. Nade's going to push that M4 back. Not that it matters. They've got AKs on the T side, but if they were to spray in and get in a battle, you can't quick swap for a reload.
ENCE have just been harassing them, right? In that type of situation, they set up, the flash comes around the corner. I know they get the kill, but they never let off the hook. And again, they're contained. So the biggest issues for Big, pardon the pun, have been the fact that even when they do get map control, ENCE are more than happy to give it over because they lock them in. They understand that there's no lurks. It hasn't even been standard default rounds where they hold up at tunnels, they hold the mid doors, they hold short, they hold long, they punish the pushes. ENCE have been getting over pushes all half long. So why stop now?
Smoke to cover. Some Pius will go out. Spots the first, no problem. Krimbo down. Second one's too easy. Controls both picks. There was 20 seconds left in the round. There's nothing left in this half, though. 12-3 in favor of ENCE. They look dominant so far. Remember, this is Big's map choice, which is a bit concerning. We'll take a break, see if they've got anything to recover on the CT side.
Future Pros, I have a quick and easy B-side door smoke on Dust2 for you, so listen up. To throw the smoke, position yourself next to this big stone beam. Crouch down and aim within the gap in the sky. Then stand and throw the smoke. Super easy, super effective, should help you get into B.
quick look into the other stream going on. Obviously, lots of games happening here. That one's for elimination, so 11-7 over there on Dust2 as well. And on this one, 12-3, a massive lead for ENCE on Big's map choice. So they need to try and recover as fast as possible on this second half if they want anything in this series. The desk believes, I think you agreed with them, Chad, that Dust2 is the key to a 3-mapper.
Yeah, definitely. And I think some of the ways that Big have misplayed a few rounds where they've had advantages and put them in this massive hole. If ENCE grab the pistol, I think they'll be converting swiftly, as Big have gone for somewhat of an aggressive stance. 2 towards Cat, the heaviest hitters, syrsoN and tabseN. Krimbo and syrsoN patrolling mid and watching long from the B hill, and back of plat is Keto. ENCE are lining up for a B execute, however. There is a Molotov available, so if Snappi drops that towards the back of plat, Keto will be in a lot of trouble, but note Krimbo's flashes. He'll be able to flash over to assist, and here we go. Oh, the molly wasn't needed. He's already dead. Cancel the flashes. That's not going to help a whole lot.
Not at all. syrsoN trying to keep his head down and stay in this, but can't. They find him easily because he's got nowhere to go. And tabseN back in, finds 1. Damage on a second, but syrsoN the only one left, and it looks like ENCE are going to find a 13th convincingly and quickly to start off this second half.
This is the thing. I'm pretty sure Big ran that, had a similar pistol run against them the other day, and they responded in a similar style, right, with the flashes, but they were able to rotate in quicker than that. This time round ENCE, because they got the kill as part of the execute. I think it was Vitality. When they got the kill, it was almost by accident, and then the execute came a little bit later. They weren't ready with the smokes and flashes, so that gave time for Big to set up in the site. This time round, you can see the scaling from ENCE just way too powerful. The Glocks are close range. Now let's see if ENCE can convert a long take on an anti-force. We mentioned the scouts before. Oh, lordy. Maybe not at all. Never mind. They haven't really gone long. They've gone short, and they've taken so much damage.
They're not done there. Man, oh man, they're all down to 50 or above, with the exception of Valde's on 7. He had headshotted through the door, I'm pretty sure, by the scout in order to get hit to that.
This is some wild stuff. I didn't think it would go down like this, because they got long control, then they immediately pivoted short. So Big have owned this. Big have absolutely owned this.
So second half in a row then, because they won the first one and got second rounded, and then it was back and forth a bit to recover.
Yeah, forced by wars for both these teams. So I think for Valde, he's not going to be able to get anything done here. Might just have to back off and consider the save, but Keto will find him. And a good round to win with some rifles being scavenged here.
They only lost like 27 HP in that whole round.
Yeah, that's wild.
One player. That is a bit wild.
These second rounds on Dust2 might be coming on some of the hardest rounds of the game. So let's see. It is going to be Snappi with a scout in his hands. The rest are upgrading in some pistols.
I wonder if GetRight's co-streaming again today, because yesterday he chimed in on the conversation about if you save T-side, maybe, you know, how much, I said 50%, he said less at least. And I understand people, you don't want to encourage too much saving, because we're already getting a lot of that, but I think in certain situations, maybe there's a way the game can not, rather than determine your money on the previous, this should be a pretty good cleanup from tabseN. Determining your money at the end of the round, whether you died or not, it should determine your money at the start of the next round, whether you're holding a pistol or a rifle. So if you save something like a Deagle or a Tech 9, you're still going to get your bonus. If you're holding a rifle, then, hey, you should have gone or died, so no, you're not getting your bonus. Maybe there's a way to do something like that. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder what GetRight's thoughts would be on what we said about
streaming.
1900 versus the 1400 bonus.
He's streaming at the moment. He's getting the hours in.
He might not be doing this game though. He might not be listening to us.
Oh, he's definitely doing this game.
Oh well. But hello, Christopher.
If he's in Go TV, I don't know if he's listening to us.
Yeah, yesterday I think he was, but either way, it's fine. He might have us muted in the morning. We're a lot to take. I get it. Dia, he's taking a lot of damage right now as he's tagged down to 14. The nade's going to catch him out trying to run back. He heard that one being thrown but couldn't get away from it. tabseN with the kill. And it's Snappi that's down to 37. So looking pretty solid hold again from Big as syrsoN will slide to the barrel and wait for them to enter through. Kiddo will try and bait off of that as well with only 10 HP, but the MP9, they're going to look directly up at him. That just baits them towards syrsoN and tabseN. So this one's done. We go 13-5.
Yeah, need plenty more of that out of Big here to make this one a competitive affair. They'll have a huge gap to close down. 13-5. Jeez, it does feel like a long road, doesn't it? But I imagine for Big, CT side could be a bit of a comfort zone here. And they're chasing D-Hard down, trying to scamper away. But standing and delivering. And again, some Pius is going to buy into a scout. Now, you might be asking yourself, why has he grabbed a scout? Well, I guess next round, he's going to scout as well. So let's see what damage he can find. He's actually going to take the damage here, and he better run, because syrsoN's coming with another Hail Mary nade. Now, lob to the back of Cat. syrsoN staying extremely active here. Now, I did see some questions coming through, and this one is a pretty common one. Just asking about why AWPers would be sitting in the middle of the table, right, out of the 5 players, as opposed to the in-game leader. This one's a simple one. The AWPers tend to do a lot of rotating around. The more screens that they can see at a glance, it's better for them to be able to position themselves accordingly to be effective in that regard. So there's an answer for everybody at home.
tabseN is going to shut down middle. syrsoN steps back out. Big looking a little bit better now that we're onto the CG side, as they'll collect 3 rounds in a row.
They've doubled their score.
They have.
All right, syrsoN's back into the scout here. Everybody else into the AKs. Now, how are ENCE going to operate? They do have some pretty good spawns for long right now. Could try and go for the Hail Mary all in, but I don't have all the goodies. So only 4 or 5 flashes to work with. There's a tag through. If that was an AWP, a lot more damage would have been done. So Keto notes as D-Hub pushes, and he does spot one towards the pit, but Krimbo's going to get the better of him for now.
Whoa, Krimbo's on 1. Got tagged as well by Maden as he got toward the pit position. Ooh. Somehow, Krimbo's not the one to go down first. It's tabseN that gets caught, but we still sit in a 4-on-4. And ENCE position. Yeah, I was going to say the early exchange, they didn't really get through, but they'll take what they've gotten from that and try and use the thinned and depleted defense to rotate back to B.
Is syrsoN picking right now, or is he hidden? Because, okay, yeah, he's facing, and that makes a lot of sense. He has a smoke. So as soon as he takes the jewel, he can try and drop that smoke and force them back and corral them elsewhere. But ENCE need to go for contact. They only have a molly here. So as they walk in, syrsoN needs to hit a couple of shots. The first is good. There's the smoke.
Slides out, couldn't do it. They knew he was against that wall. They saw where the smoke came from. Kito's still trying to get into position. He's going to wait at the doors for his teammates to rotate over. They've still got a long way to go. So, oh my goodness, they let him walk in. There's 2 inside of the site. They thought they had default. He does a great job, Kito, because now he's giving his teammates a chance. What a shot, though. syrsoN pulls back onto Snappi. That was only 1 HP, mind you, but still it was tough to hit. Maden wins it out, 14 for ENCE.
Good heads-up play from Maden, not giving him a chance to reposition right there. So ENCE can put themselves 2 rounds away here in map number 1. And syrsoN in that situation, right? You just have to think through his thought process there, right? All right, I smoked them, I got the kill. Surely they're going to leave me alone. I don't think they were going to push through the smoke, but they were going to spam to punish his escape. And I guess it is fortunate he moved. There was a Molotov in the tail end of all of that. Either way, gives up his life, gives up the site, and Big can't scamper back in time to deal with it. It's going to be second time out from ENCE here, so just want to have a conversation about how to close this. Get this one done. Let's not have too many more worries about this. Our buy still doesn't look fantastic. Even looking at their spawns here, this time it's pretty B heavy. They're going up against an AWP as syrsoN, sure. A couple of M4s, syrsoN yet to buy Keto into an MP9. So both teams a bit strapped for cash in this one. This is, I don't want to say it's gotten away from Big. It's been away from Big. It hasn't even been close for Big. This is going to be a blowout here for ENCE.
You can say this is easy for ENCE, Chad. This is one of the ones where you can actually say that without just memeing. So smoke to the pin. syrsoN will be not able to see anything other than top mid, which fortunately is where he did miss it. Yeah, I was going to say that should cover more than that, like way more, all of it.
There have been a couple of AWPers missing more and more of that. I know it's not an easy one to line up. You need the AWP to do it, but here we go. The B explode. Same spot, same result.
They're in. Snappi's in. Oh, okay. Dia got hit through that, but at the same time, valde and syrsoN took a little bit of fraction of damage. I'll get that right. Fractal damage from an aid, but they're going to back off and save on this. So Big can see this will be map point for ENCE to start the series.
Yeah, that was way too easy again. They even had multiple bodies over towards B, so ENCE just shred the defense on that B bomb site. That was the 2 players who had the weaker weaponry. All things considered, you have to take that into context. And yeah, next up we have Nuke. If we do need it, we will have Mirage. We also have the B and the C streams going on right now. Fantasy versus Illumina that you all saw at home, that is on the C stream. ESO_CSGO C. Change that at the end of the URL you have at the moment. And over there on the B stream, Heat taking on Saw. Both of those are elimination matches. Haven't really seen too much convincing from Heat. Got to see them during the ESL Pro League. I thought this would be a bit more comfy turf for them, but as they make their way back up from the bottom of the barrel, there's still a chance. There
is still a chance. No, that's right. Heat was a team that obviously with some of the players they have, you would have expected a bit more from, but Saw currently winning that one 10-7, like you say. So decent effort from them.
We found our first 5 teams so far, Matt. We've got FaZe, NIP, Na'Vi, and in the America side, Liquid and EG. Now waiting to see which one of the 2 of those will take the Legend slot. They will be playing a best of 3 between each other tomorrow, I believe.
Yes, they have 1 day off, and that plays tomorrow. You're right. Complexity have a chance to qualify today, having lost out in that BO3 against Liquid for the Legend, sorry, to qualify and a chance to play for the Legend spot, right, as you say. So a little bit different format for the Americas Road to Rio.
We're going to add our 6th team. So we're continuing to add teams. That's what we need to find. 24 teams over the course of the... Ooh, nice one there, syrsoN. 24 teams over the course of the next 3 days.
Valde in. Oh, too easy. Too easy. Doesn't know syrsoN's in the open, though. He plays the smoke as well. So both can play that game, and syrsoN will win back the B site as a result of that trade. They're still down a man, mostly due to the fact that that op shot came through the door. That's the untraded and unanswered kill so far, and that means that syrsoN's already started to reposition. He's taken that op back over toward the ramp, and he's made no mistake to find maden. Nearly a second as Snappi crosses out. It's Dia next that he fires at, but hasn't hit it yet. Jumps up. Again, he's close. Now Krimbo will finish it off with the MP9, and syrsoN will extinguish flames. This one's just Dia in a 1-on-4.
Interesting choice there from ENCE. They had the util to go for the set piece. Let's see how much damage Diha can do here. 30 seconds. He can win a round like this and looks prepared to do so.
He needs to, okay, that Molotov actually makes it more difficult to try and do what he was doing because he wanted to bait shots towards sight and then catch out the flank. He knew it was coming. That makes perfect sense, but the Molotov pushes him out of position. So it is 15-7. Big will survive for at least 1 more round. Gob B in the background.
I think ENCE were just going for this shock and awe factor in this round here because they had smokes available to do the bridge smoke as well as the one-way smoke on top of elevator and then flash and go and try and isolate the AWP or at least grab some site control. So I just feel that was a bit of a rushed finish in the 3-on-4. Using the surprise factor to be the difference maker there, but now it's going to have to be 5 Deagles. $700 hand cannon out to play. syrsoN up to play ahead of this here, and as he's been ticked, Krimbo has heard and swoops for the kills, so good understanding of the situation there from Krimbo.
Good shot back, syrsoN takes out valde. So ENCE with just the hand cannons, unable to open up much so far as Krimbo takes the only damage so far on the big side. Snappi will go back toward Catwalk.
I love and I hate this version of the eco. Like, it's great because you get some flashy deagle shots and individuals really show their firepower and how skilled they are. And the other side is it's such a boring call. It's like, yo, boys, go find me some kills. It's like, I get it. I definitely get it. There's no doubt about that. It's just like, you're hoping and you're praying. That's really what this type of a round is. Continue to be picked apart here, just hadn't to find it. Sure, he's been able to get across, but not spotted there from tabseN immediately. He will finish it off. Buy available for everybody besides valde. How many more will ENCE allow them to get here? It will shift to being a comeback in about 3 rounds' time. So right now, it's still just
It's a pipe dream, yeah. But as we always say, double digits, that's when we can get excited. But at 15, I would say you still need to get to 11 or 12, and then you can really see the finish line. Timeout called. Big is going to chat things over. Gob B immediately gets vocal with that. Had the water delivery from the admin, make sure everything was good.
All right, well, that's the 3rd timeout used. See if they can give themselves an opportunity to use the 4th here. Good slew of rounds here on the CT side, denying the plants, making sure that ENCE just can't walk all over them. Valde into a Galil, syrsoN with the AWP out to play. A drop on the head, didn't quite stick the landing, but mounts up moments after. Through a deep mid-door molly. That's going to give them a little bit of a buffer here for their dark default. Diha will have to dip back for now, but Snappi alongside of valde. Oh, it's actually maden to initiate towards mid first. So just trundling down off the back of syrsoN's AWP. They'll get short control for relatively free if they'd like. There's nobody close. Very standard start here from Big. Your rotator player of tabseN playing towards spawn. Your AWP currently mid-long. Krimbo anchoring long. Keto and syrsoN over towards B. And now some pressure being applied here. So they're looking to try and force some rotations as the CTs are blocking the mid to B. So they've exchanged a bridge smoke for a CT smoke. That means nobody can really move right now.
Nade in. It's behind Maden, so he's comfortably still positioned. Potentially even could go for a drop on this, depending on what the setup is. Doesn't have any utility to try and do it though, so he's just gonna have to be quick and time it with the rotations. The smoke's towards CT spawn already in place. Flash comes through. Dia will hug the wall, hoping no one's gonna pounce on the back of that, but it does slow them a bit. Second flash, unfortunately catches out Kiddo, and he has to get in behind the box when he could have had a chance, and they spotted him. Make no mistake, they found the kill as well. It's Sin that pulls it back with the trade, and syrsoN that's gone one better. But watch inside of the site because valde's opened it. The problem is he's opened it. They've lost middle, so the bomb goes back toward tunnels instead. tabseN spots the cross. As he pushed the doors, we've seen them do it once already. I think he's a little more worried because he knows the timing. He's a bit behind the play, so bomb down. But the HP in favor of Big, there's 3 kits, and there's a bit of utility. They've got an incendiary, but they've lost tabseN. valde's gonna get under the window, so both prongs of it. Oh, he stepped out, he didn't need to. syrsoN takes syrsoN back, he'll switch to the rifle. valde, 28, jumps up, taken down, and they know Snappi's gonna be in tunnels. They absolutely are certain of it. They'll remove him, and we go 15-9.
He bang on, didn't need to. No need at all. Literally 0 to peek that angle there. So syrsoN giving one back over here and giving a lifeline to Big now. I don't want to give these guys too many opportunities to think they have a chance to win, because now they might even start believing. syrsoN getting it done, and this is the thing that Dust spoke about, the impact being required from both syrsoN and tabseN. Well, they're both towards the top of the scoreboard. They would love some assistance. They would love somebody else to start chipping in buckets and spades. 22 for syrsoN, tabseN on 17. On the other side of things, towards the top of the scoreboard is maden with 21. His support cast of valde, 19 and 18 for Snappi and syrsoN respectively. And Saw now, the big boss man, talking with the little boss man about how they can finish this one off. The plant was good. It will help them now get out a little bit of a buy. Scout for Snappi. 2 P250s, 2 Tech 9s, and a couple of long spawns here. Also allows the AWP to come out into the next for syrsoN. He saves, doesn't get any Kevlar here, so he's going to have plenty of cash. As heading towards long in the early stages. valde's going to pick the corner here and a tag through. That's a shot that I don't think Snappi realized he hit. So valde's out. They do have the long control. They still have 2 smokes left over. If they can push Krimbo off of the car position, they'll set themselves up with a bit of a runway to execute in towards A.
syrsoN still holding it back on the site with Snappi and Pit. That's the scout, the only weapon for the T's. The double op with syrsoN already tagged up. There's going to be a bit of a push toward middle, and it's tabseN that's clearing already and might even wrap all the way around.
Interesting they smoke back a cat. That's very telling that they know exactly what's up here.
Corner smoked across. Elevator position for Krimbo with tabseN over above. He'll call when they get closer. Incendiary now is the right time. That's going to push them against the wall. It means it's easier to line up if they go through that smoke. Dia's already got tabseN down, though. syrsoN's the next in line here, and he's already been tagged once. He's missed the shot. That gives syrsoN a chance. P250 bomb's going to go down, and it's the advantage for ENCE. Nades will do what they can to soften them up before they arrive. It's worked out because Sin has maden, but he's dinked as well. Ran out of ammo and jumped.
Oh,
he jumped and gave it to you. I think so as well. That mouse wheel was primed and ready, and it just shot him off into space. It's going to shoot this round and game into orbit. It's 16-9. As ENCE will take the first map against Big.
To be very happy with this performance here, commanding victory. I think the scoreline doesn't do it justice how much ENCE were rinsing them here. We move into Nuke as the second map and 1 map away from locking ENCE in towards the major. Conversations to be had here. Gob's not happy, and conversations for the desk. We're going to a break. We'll be with them in a very, very quick moment. Don't go anywhere.